You might not even realize it, but something sitting in your kitchen pantry, a food you thought was helping you, could be quietly draining your brain's power and speeding up age-related decline. This is not just a hypothetical scenario. I see it every day in my clinic. Smart, well-read seniors consume what they believe to be health foods, but unbeknownst to them, these choices are slowly harming their memory and focus, and even contributing to early signs of dementia. I have to say, this is far more common than you might think, and it's high time we addressed it, honestly and clearly. Imagine waking up one day and struggling to remember where you put your keys. Or perhaps you find yourself getting frustrated with tasks you've done thousands of times before. Tasks that once felt second nature now seem daunting, and words that easily flowed from your mouth suddenly feel as if they're lost in a fog. You brush it off at first, attributing it to aging or a busy mind. But what if I told you that something seemingly innocent in your diet could be contributing to this decline? Now let's take a moment to talk about what we consider health food. The irony is astounding. Often advertised as heart-healthy, high in fiber, or beneficial for blood sugar, these products are prominently featured on our grocery shelves. You may have even seen glowing commercials praising them, or been drawn to flashy labels that boast whole grain. But here's the catch. We are talking about processed grain products, things like bran muffins, granola bars, whole wheat cereals, and yes, even certain multigrain breads. I can already hear your thoughts. How can whole grain be a problem? Haven't we been told to eat more of it? Yes, you have. And that's where the confusion lies. It's not the whole grains themselves that are the issue. It's how they're processed and packaged in today's world. When whole grains are ground into flour, combined with sugars and oils, and formed into convenient snacks, something changes. They lose much of their nutritional power and instead become a steady source of inflammation and blood sugar spikes. Over the years, I've observed countless patients who swap sugary snacks for items they believe to be healthier. Things like fruit and fiber bars or whole grain crackers. In their minds, they are making a wise choice. Yet weeks later, they return to my office, and the complaints start pouring in. I'm feeling more fatigued. My focus isn't what it used to be. Am I developing early Alzheimer's? When we dig a little deeper, we find that those so-called healthy swaps still elevate blood glucose levels too high and keep inflammation simmering inside their brains. Think about it. Any highly processed carbohydrate, even those labeled natural or low fat, can create wild roller coasters in your blood sugar. That instability doesn't just affect your metabolism. It influences how your brain receives nutrients and utilizes energy. And for aging brains, these ups and downs can be especially damaging. Now, why is this even worse as we reach our 60s and beyond? Aging brings incredible wisdom and a wealth of life experiences, but it also changes how our bodies interact with food. As we grow older, our bodies produce less insulin and process glucose more slowly. We also become more sensitive to inflammation. It's like carrying a fragile package. Small incidents that once didn't matter can suddenly feel monumental. Picture your brain as an engine that previously ran on premium fuel. In youth, it performed admirably, even when the fuel wasn't perfectly clean. But now, with time, that engine shows wear. If you continue to feed it with sugary or starchy options, even in the guise of a healthy bran muffin, it's akin to pouring syrup into your gas tank. Suddenly, you're left with sluggishness, memory lapses, and confusion. These symptoms don't appear out of nowhere. They're often silent signals from the foods we assume are helping us. Let's talk about inflammation, a topic that's increasingly relevant in our discussions around health. Research suggests that chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the driving forces behind many neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's. The sugars and processed carbohydrates found in many mainstream healthy foods can exacerbate this inflammation. In fact, some experts are even referring to Alzheimer's as type 3 diabetes. Why? Because the patterns of inflammation and damage we observe in the brain mirror what high blood sugar does elsewhere in our bodies. Now imagine what could happen if we ignore these warning signs. The decline can become more pronounced. The days can feel heavier, and tasks that once brought joy may become frustrating. Relationships suffer as communication falters. The sense of independence begins to erode. Each missed memory becomes a little piece of your past lost. Without addressing these underlying contributors, we risk a future where the small slips add up to significant losses. But here comes that glimmer of hope. Your brain has an astonishing capacity to heal. It can grow and build new connections with the right support. This makes it imperative we start discussing steps to support your brain health, beginning with better choices for your nourishment. As we dissect this issue further, it's important to ask ourselves, what patterns are we stuck in? What foods have we believed to be supportive, only to find they're part of the problem? This is an exploration worth taking, and I hope you'll continue this journey with me as we delve deeper into the underlying causes and consider how to reclaim that precious clarity, focus, and energy you deserve. Understanding this critical connection to what we eat can empower you. Can you sense the potential for change? Imagine waking up with a renewed sense of mentation, tackling the day with confidence. The road to that clarity is within reach. Let's start uncovering the truths that will help you thrive in your golden years. What changes can we explore together in the next chapter? Stay tuned to find out what hidden dangers lurk in your pantry and how you can combat them. You might not even realize it, but that health food sitting in your pantry could be slowly draining your brain's power. Picture this. You wake up one day and you can't remember where you put your keys, or you have difficulty recalling a word that usually comes easily to you. You brush it off, perhaps chalking it up to aging or just a busy mind. But what if I told you these minor slips could be tied to something innocent in your diet? In my clinic, I see bright, intelligent seniors every day who consume what they believe to be wholesome choices. They trust in foods marketed as heart-healthy, rich in fiber, or low in sugar, foods plastered with labels boasting whole grain. But here's the snare. Many of these foods are processed grain products. Think bran muffins, granola bars, whole wheat cereals, and even some types of multigrain bread. You might be thinking, how can whole grain be bad? Aren't we supposed to eat more of it? It's a great question, and the answer lies in processing. When whole grains are milled into fine flour or sweetened with sugars, they lose much of their wholesome benefits. Instead of brain food, they become a culprit for inflammation and sudden spikes in blood sugar. I've watched patients high-five each other for swapping sugary snacks with fruit-filled bars or whole grain crackers. They think they're making a smart, healthy decision. But then they return to my office, sharing tales of fatigue and forgetfulness. Their initial good intention becomes a source of frustration because those so-called health foods are still destabilizing their blood sugar levels and fueling inflammation in their brains. You see, any processed carbohydrate, even those labeled natural or low-fat, can send your blood sugar on a wild roller coaster ride. And this instability doesn't just disrupt your metabolism, it also impacts how your brain absorbs nutrients and draws on energy. As we age, our brains are especially vulnerable to these fluctuations. But why is this reaction amplified as we enter our 60s and beyond? Aging brings a wealth of wisdom, yet it also affects how our bodies process what we consume. Older adults produce less insulin and metabolize glucose much more slowly. With every passing year, we become more sensitive to inflammation, which is like dealing with a leaf on a sunny day. It seems insignificant, but in the right conditions, it can turn into a storm. Imagine your brain as an engine that thrived on premium fuel during your youth. Back then, it ran like a dream, even if the quality dipped occasionally. Fast forward to today, and that same engine is showing signs of wear and tear. If you continue to feed it a sugary snack, even a healthier bran muffin, you're essentially pouring syrup into the gas tank. The repercussions? Sluggishness, confusion, and lapses in memory that don't just pop up out of thin air. They are subtle reminders that the foods we've trusted are, in fact, letting us down. And we cannot ignore the critical role of inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation is emerging as a significant factor in many neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's. Sugars and processed carbohydrates prevalent in so many of our healthy choices can exacerbate this inflammation. This is why some experts label Alzheimer's as type 3 diabetes. The brain illustrates damage patterns similar to those caused by high blood sugar throughout the body. Ignoring these warning signs could lead to a cascade of problems. What starts as mild forgetfulness may evolve into greater cognitive struggles. Simple tasks, once routine, could transform into significant hurdles. And as communication falters, the precious relationships that bring meaning to life can face strain. Every instance of missing a memory can feel like losing pieces of the beautiful tapestry of your life. So let's pause to recognize the good news. Your brain is remarkably resilient. With the right support, it can heal and even forge new connections. This is why we need to shift our focus from despairing over unfavorable options to understanding how to nourish our minds more effectively. It's essential to reflect on what you may have considered healthy versus what is genuinely supportive of your brain. Each choice we make in the kitchen can have ramifications far beyond the plate. Armed with this understanding, the potential for change is huge. Imagine the possibility of waking each morning with a clearer mind, eager to embrace the day. Are you ready to explore how to reclaim your sharpness, clarity, and energy? In the next chapter, we're going to shift gears and delve into actionable tips that will illuminate a path toward better choices right in your kitchen. Stay tuned as we uncover solutions that will help you fortify your brain health, one meal at a time. Let's embark on this journey together. You probably have this in your kitchen right now, a food you believe was doing you good. Picture this. You pour yourself a bowl of cereal, maybe a granola bar for a quick snack, thinking you're making a healthy choice. But let me tell you, that innocent-looking breakfast option could be stripping away your mental clarity, leaving you feeling foggy and forgetful. It's something I see every day in my clinic. Seniors, smart and vibrant, caught off guard by what they thought was health food. What I'm specifically talking about is the overconsumption of processed grains. Yes, the ones marketed as whole grain or high in fiber. You may think you're making a smart trade, swapping sugary snacks for granola bars or bran muffins, but this could be a hidden mistake. Let me explain why this matters particularly to seniors. As we age, our body's ability to process food changes. You might not produce insulin as efficiently anymore, making every spike in blood sugar hit harder than it used to. When you consume these so-called healthy processed grains, what often follows is an erratic roller coaster ride for your blood sugar. Instead of sustained energy, you're left with fatigue and brain fog. The brain craves consistent, quality fuel. It thrives when we provide it the right nutrients while keeping inflammatory foods to a minimum. So let's focus on a simple but powerful nutrient that's often overlooked in our diets: omega-3 fatty acids. You might know them as the healthy fats found in fish like salmon, but they also exist in flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. These nutrients are magical for your brain health, and I highly recommend incorporating them into your daily routine, especially if you're over the age of 60. Why omega-3s? Well, they play such a crucial role in maintaining proper brain function. Aging increases our vulnerability to inflammation and oxidative stress, two silent contributors to cognitive decline. Omega-3 fatty acids are renowned for their anti-inflammatory properties, helping to lower this chronic inflammation that can lead to neurological issues. Think of omega-3s as the peacekeepers in your body. They help calm the storm that arises from high blood sugar and processed foods. In practical terms, consuming omega-3s can enhance neuronal function, aiding in everything from memory retention to mood regulation. Some studies even point to omega-3s slowing the progression of conditions like Alzheimer's. They support heart health too, meaning you're addressing multiple aspects of your well-being with one nutrient. Imagine starting your day with a breakfast that fuels your brain instead of one filled with uncertainty. Consider a bowl of oatmeal topped with a sprinkle of ground flaxseed and a handful of walnuts. Oats, albeit a source of complex carbohydrates, can be stabilizing when paired with omega-3s, creating a delightful synergy for your body. Or how about a simple smoothie? Blend a banana, a handful of spinach, a tablespoon of chia seeds, and some Greek yogurt. You'll not only nourish your body, but also give your brain a dose of healthy fats, fiber, and protein, all while keeping that blood sugar steady. With these small, mindful swaps, the effects can be life-changing. You're not just improving your diet, you're also sending a strong message to your brain. We can do this together. Moreover, remember that omega-3s can easily fit into your day. Toss walnuts into your salads, sprinkle flaxseed on your yogurt, or enjoy salmon once or twice a week. By prioritizing these foods, you're igniting a powerful shift towards better brain health. But here's a little teaser for what's next. In the upcoming chapter, we will dive into another phenomenal nutrient that works hand in hand with omega-3s, creating a powerhouse of support for cognition. By complementing your diet with this next gem, you're taking yet another step to magnify that brain support. Together, let's take the necessary steps to nourish our minds and bodies. Remember, this isn't just about what you're eating. It's about cultivating a lifestyle that invigorates your spirit and sharpens your mental acuity. Each healthy choice creates a ripple effect, ultimately leading you to a brighter, more energetic, and productive tomorrow. Thank you for being here with me on this journey. Your health and cognitive clarity matter. Let's keep them strong together. Ever wonder why that seemingly innocent bowl of cereal or granola bar leaves you feeling a bit hazy? It's frustrating, isn't it? You want to nourish your body, to make choices that support your well-being. But many of us don't realize that even those products marketed as healthy can sometimes backfire. Some days it feels like no matter what you eat, you're battling brain fog, fatigue, or wandering thoughts. As a brain doctor, I see this often in my practice. Intelligent, vibrant seniors caught in the web of what they thought were good dietary choices. Sadly, the overconsumption of processed grains is a common pitfall. Now let's dive deeper into how these so-called healthy processed grains affect our aging bodies, particularly when it comes to blood sugar and cognitive health. After years of adaptation, our bodies don't process food the same way they did when we were younger. The efficiency of insulin production declines, and any spike in blood sugar hits harder. So, you might think you're making a wise choice with that whole grain, granola bar, but it could be inviting a tumultuous blood sugar roller coaster that leaves you feeling depleted and forgetful. What I want to discuss with you today is an essential nutrient that can combat this challenging cycle and uplift your overall brain health. Omega-3 fatty acids. These powerful fats, prominently found in fatty fish like salmon and plant-based sources like flax seeds and walnuts, are crucial allies for maintaining cognitive sharpness, especially as we age. Picture this. Omega-3s act as the peacekeepers of your body. They soothe inflammation and oxidative stress, two significant contributors to cognitive decline, similar to how a soft rain can calm a raging storm outside your window. By incorporating these healthy fats into your diet, you create a more stable environment for your brain, mitigating the impacts that arise from those processed grain products. But how do omega-3s work their magic? They play a vital role in building brain cell membranes, enhancing neuronal function, and even supporting neurotransmitter production, all key processes for effective memory retention and mood regulation. Research suggests that omega-3s may help slow down the progression of neurological conditions, including Alzheimer's disease. So when we choose to add omega-3 rich foods to our plates, we take an active stand in safeguarding our cognitive health. How can you incorporate more omega-3 fatty acids into your daily routine? Let's keep it simple and tasty. For breakfast, you might like to try oatmeal topped with ground flax seeds and a handful of walnuts. The oatmeal provides steady energy, while the flax seeds and walnuts add a delightful crunch and a nutritious boost of omega-3s, creating a well-rounded start to your day. Another excellent way to enjoy omega-3s is with a simple smoothie. Blend up a banana, a handful of spinach, a tablespoon of chia seeds, and some plain Greek yogurt. You'll get a creamy texture along with healthy fats, fiber, and protein, all while keeping your blood sugar stable. It's a refreshing treat that's both nourishing and delicious. Let's not forget about snack time too. Consider making a trail mix with walnuts and dried fruit, or perhaps a quick snack of whole grain crackers topped with can of salmon. You'll get the crunchy satisfaction along with an omega-3 boost to keep your brain energized throughout the day. And remember, adding omega-3s into your diet doesn't have to be overwhelming or expensive. These adjustments, small as they may be, create ripples that lead to significant improvements in your cognitive well-being. Now, as we move into the final chapter of our journey together in this series, I want to tease a powerful shift in mindset that will tie everything we've learned. It will focus on a holistic approach to brain health that transcends just diet. It dives deeper into how we can foster a lifestyle that invigorates our mental clarity and energy. You're not just feeding your body, you're nourishing your spirit. Thank you for exploring these health tips with me. By understanding that omega-3 fatty acids can work in concert with your diet, you're taking a courageous step toward a sharper mind and a brighter future. Remember, each healthy choice you make is an investment in your clarity and independence. Let's keep nurturing these positive changes together, and I can't wait to share our final insights in the next chapter. Here's to continued health and vitality. If you've made it this far, you already care deeply about your health and well-being. That awareness places you ahead of most, and I commend you for taking the time to explore the implications of your dietary choices. Together, we've uncovered some startling truths about those foods that we once believed to be innocuous, perhaps even beneficial, only to discover they might actually be undermining our brain health and vitality. We've discussed the hidden dangers of processed health foods, particularly those made from grains, and how they can set off a cascade of inflammation and blood sugar spikes that wreak havoc on your cognitive functions. We delved into the complexities of how aging affects our metabolism and insulin sensitivity, leading us to understand why these issues may be exacerbated in our golden years. We also highlighted the importance of omega-3 fatty acids and how they can serve as a protective barrier for our precious brain cells, essential allies in your quest for clarity and energy. But now, as we stand at the crossroads of knowledge and action, I want you to feel empowered. Here's the final piece of wisdom I want to leave you with. Change is not only possible at any age, it can be exhilarating, invigorating, and deeply fulfilling. Each small adjustment you implement in your daily routine has the power to impact your overall health significantly. Let me offer you one last piece of actionable advice that ties all we've discussed together. Embrace the concept of mindfulness in your eating habits. It's a simple yet profound shift that involves being fully present when you eat, appreciating the colors, textures, and flavors of your food, as well as tuning in to how your body feels before, during, and after meals. When you eat mindfully, you are more likely to make choices that serve your health rather than react to cravings that may lead you back to those processed grains or sugary snacks. So, why not start today? Perhaps when you prepare your next meal, take a moment to slow down. When you plate your food, notice the vibrant colors of fresh vegetables or the creamy richness of an avocado. As you eat, pay attention to how each bite makes you feel. This practice will help you become more attuned to your body's needs, and I encourage you to think of one actionable step you can take right now. Maybe you'll swap that granola bar for a piece of fruit, or perhaps tomorrow morning, you'll try a nourishing breakfast like oatmeal with walnuts and cinnamon instead of reaching for those processed cereals. The beauty of these changes is that they don't require grand gestures or sweeping overhauls of your lifestyle. It's about planting small seeds, one at a time, that will grow into healthier decisions over time. I assure you that every choice you make, no matter how minuscule it may seem, is a vote for your well-being. As we conclude this chapter of our journey, I want you to hold on to this affirmation. You deserve to age gracefully, filled with energy, strength, and confidence. You're not just a passive participant in your health journey. You have the power to steer it in the direction that nurtures your brain and spirit. Remember, it's never too late to begin embracing your health with intention and love. Thank you for being here and for your commitment to understanding and enhancing your health. I hope you found value in these insights. If these conversations have resonated with you, consider subscribing for more tips aimed at keeping your mind sharp and your body fit as you move through life. Together, let's foster a vibrant community where we can all thrive in our golden years. Until next time, take good care of yourself and keep choosing health. You've got this.